Hey guys, and welcome to Scratch the Itch, a series where I play indie games from itch.io and try to find ones that scratch that gaming itch we sometimes get. Today I have a 2-for-1 special for you, and both of them are horror, because fuck this dude. And don't worry though, don't worry Frosty, it's okay. There's nothing spooky in this episode, except for our friend here. Today I am taking a look at Interrogation 091 by Waffle Gum and Sentient by FORMA. Interrogation 091, I'm just gonna call it 91. Yeah, I'm gonna just call it 91. Was inspired by Sentient, so I decided I would play both of them and see what each were like. Both games are labeled quote-unquote psychological horror and are pretty short. More or less, both of these games are demos in their current state, or at least that is the vibe I get from them. The only good thing I have to say is about Sentient, and that is the graphics and effects they are using are like really nice. The textures were high quality and it looked really good. Also the tennis ball physics, those were like really cool. Like I kind of had a little bit of fun just whipping the tennis ball around, so I enjoyed that. There was a bit of blur that I thought was cool, but it was tough, man. It was tough because when you would hold an object and get close to a wall, the blur would just be really intense. And so while I think the blur effect is cool, I don't think it's necessarily great. All right, on to the bad stuff. I don't know, man. All right, maybe horror games aren't for me, all right? Maybe this is the world telling me I wasn't born to play horror games or something. When I read these were psychological horror, I was expecting suspense, maybe some mind games, and a general uneasiness, you know, like you don't know what you're expecting, right? Honestly, if it wasn't for the games being tagged that, though, I wouldn't have known that was the goal. Neither game really made me feel uneasy or had me in my head or whatever the goal of their game was. Maybe that is because they aren't completed, but I feel like both games had plenty of time and opportunity to get the player to feel scared and just failed to. Let's start with Interrogation 91. It's an extremely short game with a single ending. It was made in 2 days for a game jam. It's a single room where you're interrogated. It really, honestly, just a very simple concept, alright? Throughout the interrogation, you are given questions, answering them with one of the 2 buttons that you have in front of you on the table. Nothing really stands out in them. Some of them are quote-unquote hard questions, in my opinion, you know, kind of things like, do you love yourself? You know, sort of the questions to get you to look inside and be like, do I love myself? You know, that kind of thing. Overall, it felt like random personal questions that weren't quite hitting their mark. One of the questions had a nice touch. It pulled the local username of the computer and put it in the question, but that unfortunately kind of missed the mark for me because my local username was just generated by Windows based on my email, so it was just Weeb instead of my actual name, which kind of really softens the blow. I feel like the hard-hitting questions and, you know, the username thing were just thrown out really quickly, and it didn't quite have the same punch if they had been saved for later and were used at a better time. It is a short game, so I think if it were to do that, the game would need to be much longer and before it could actually kind of hit with those questions. So outside of the questions, you heard random sounds and alarms. I imagine these are meant to unnerve you because they were like guns and alarms and that kind of thing. But I mean, it was kind of comical hearing the guns firing, the alarms blaring, and then just hopping back into the questions. And then the person interrogating you would be like, let's take a quick coffee break, and some elevator music would just start playing. You know, it was really fucking random. And again, for me, it just missed that mark. I don't think it had the intended effect on me. For obvious reasons, Sentient had a similar format to Interrogation 91, but instead of like being interrogated, you're an experiment in Sentient. Basically, instead of only asking questions, they would ask questions and have you do things like walk in a circle. I think there was one instruction I was doing where I was walking around the room and I just kind of said to myself, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm playing this game to intentionally be spooked, but instead I'm playing Simon fucking Says. Like, I don't know, man. Is that what I was supposed to think when I was playing this game? Is that the intended goal? Because I don't know. I really don't. And if that is, What is the psychological horror genre? What is it? That all said, I think Sentient has a better pace to it, and since it is very much a demo with a longer play version coming, I think it could actually deliver on the psychological horror aspect. But overall, I just kind of laughed that I was playing Simon Says and throwing a ball over the place. Like, it didn't scare me, it didn't make me uneasy, I didn't feel like it had any sort of psychological horror going on with it. I don't know, man. Again, just like Interrogation Anyone, missed the mark for me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me, man. I don't know. So, the 2-month-old question I've been asking myself, does it scratch the itch? No. These two do not scratch the itch. Whether it's regular horror or psychological horror, I expect to be scared or scarred or something, and neither of these games did that. The quality on Sentient overall was better though, and it's something I am looking forward to playing when it's completed, just to see if it can actually scare me or have me get inside my own head, or like I said, whatever the goal is. I don't know, man. I'm not a horror guy. I don't really know. But neither of these games hit that mark for me, at least. I'll have to keep my eyes out to find a good horror game. I've said in the past, horror isn't my go-to genre because I hate being scared. But I've played 3 games now and I've walked away from them feeling perfectly fine, and that's kind of disappointing. I should be scared if I'm playing horror, in my opinion. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have a horror game recommendation, please leave it in the comments below. I would really like to play a game that scares me, like an actual horror game that I could come and just like while I'm writing the script and be like, yeah, this game fucking scared me, all right, go play it, it's fun. Because right now none of them have. But in any case, I will catch you next time, and again, please leave any horror game recommendations in the comments below.